Welcome to 12D Synergy Client Basics for version 4. Alright, to log into 12D Synergy, simply go to your desktop and double click on the 12D Synergy client icon. Because I've already been into 12D Synergy before, my recent job history has popped up. However, the first time you come into 12D Synergy, it will ask you to connect to your server. So you can enter a server ID or a server name and then hit connect. It will remember what server you'll connect to, so unless you want to change it, it will connect to the same server next time. Once you're into your server, this will open up the Find a Job panel. There are many ways you can find a job here, and we'll investigate these in another section. But for now, I'm going to change the restrict top level to false. This will search all jobs that I have access to in my 12D Synergy server, and then hit find. You can see on the list on the left there a list of jobs that are on my server that I have permissions for. You simply go and pick the job that you want to go into now. So I want to go into the Emu Park job. And then hit open. This opens up our client dashboard. So instead of looking or searching for our Emu Park job in future, you can also add it to your favorites list now. So come up next to change a job button and hit the black arrow, come down and select favorites, and then hit add. This will add it to my favorites list. Then we just hit save, go OK, and then close the favorites panel. Again, up on the black arrow next to change job now, we can click that. You can see under favorites the Emu Park job is added to my favorites list. Also above that are the recent jobs that I've been into. Okay. Note, if you do wish to change jobs to a different job or a different server, just hit the change job button again. This will open up the server panel. You can change server, hit connect, and then search for a new job. So what is a job? Well, everything in 12D Synergy is grouped into user-defined jobs, a logical grouping for a piece of work. A job is a container for files and folders which can be used to store your documentation and data relating to a job. A library of templates, resource materials, and widely used documents can also be stored in a job. A job will be created at an administration level. An administrator can create a job in 12D Synergy from within a job as well. This is what we call a subjob. So a subjob can only live below another job. That's these blue folders. So in this case, Emu Park is a subjob of projects. So a job can contain other jobs, folders, task lists, forums, or 12D model projects. Subjobs are created at the top level folder at the same level as a task list, team, and the forums. Just for your information, subjobs cannot be created in a normal folder. So let's have a look at the layout of our client here. Alright, so over on the right, this big area here, this is what we call our dashboard. A dashboard is a customizable front to a job. It can display items like images, Google Maps, job attributes, web links, and even these new widgets. Below that is the My Checked Out items. This shows you if you have anything checked out in this particular job. You can use this to check in or cancel a checkout as a shortcut. Simply select the file. You've got the check-in button over on the right, or the cancel checkout. You can even right click on that file you can go to, so you don't have to browse through your folder structure. So there's a nice shortcut there. But if you want to check it in, click on that and hit check in. Back over on the left, this area here is what we call our job tree, and it holds all our collaborative information, our folder structure, and our data. Below each job, you can have a task list, and this is a list of tasks or pieces of work assigned to contacts and users. Optional below a job are forums. It's a collaborative way for users to communicate and discuss ideas here. Also optional is issue files. This is where a transmittal register is kept of all your outgoing documents or data. Underneath a job, you can also have a team. This is a list of stakeholders or defined roles in this particular job. Then we come to our normal folders. Similar to Windows Explorer, where a folder is just a container to hold files and or other folders. 12D Synergy has the ability to specify which type of files can go into a folder. 12D Synergy supports normal folders, similar to Windows Explorer. Manage folders, they carry a different color, like this blue folder here in the green text. And 12D model projects, which have our 12D model icon with the green text. A managed folder are used to store files and data from programs like Camtasia, 12D Model, 2Flow. They're basically software that can distribute data across multiple files, typically in a working folder. Managed folders will check in and check out all the files in the folder as a group. 12D Synergy supports version and revision control of the managed folders, so you can revert to a previous state of the folder. Below the job tree, I have My Active Items. If this is not turned on, simply just go up to the window menu and turn on My Active Items window. Now in here, this contains quite a numerous amount of information. It will show all the tasks assigned to you, all the files checked out by you across all jobs in the current server, not just this particular job. So apart from tasks and checkouts, in version 4 we also have a recent items, so a shortcut to documents or files or data that you've recently opened, and then of course in version 4 your workflows. File preview and properties. When a document is selected from a tree structure, a preview screen of the first page of the document and associated properties is displayed. Okay, there's a preview on the bottom right there and the properties on the bottom left. For 12D model projects, this is a little bit different. As mentioned before, it has our 12D model icon. Click on a project, and in addition to this being a managed folder, it has all the integration features. And you can see there, similar to normal 12D model, you have your description panel, you have your last active view, but in Synergy we can also display the details panel. Alright, so how do we create a file in 12D Synergy? So there are a number of ways. You can go from a computer into 12D Synergy. The first way to do this is by drag and drop. So I'm going to open up a Windows Explorer here, come and find, in this case, a folder, and that folder has a file inside of it. So if I want all that information inside Synergy, I can simply just drag and drop it onto the folder I want it to go into. This will bring up an upload screen. So you can check its location. Yes, it's in the right location and the files are there. If there's anything you don't want copied into 12D Synergy, you can simply click on it and go remove. Other than that, if you're happy, you can simply hit the upload button. There we go, everything's copied in. I can go OK. You can see my new folder there with the file in it as well. From the 12D Synergy menu, we can also come up to the ribbon here and we can go add files. Then we simply just browse to where our data or files are. Pick the files you want to bring in and then select open. This time, because they're files, it will give me the option. Do you want to copy it into 12D Synergy or relocate it from its current local or network location and move it into 12D Synergy? Right, here we're seeing a history description. So all changes in 12D Synergy require, or as an option, require a history description. Okay. In this case, we're set to dynamic mode, so some predefined options from the administrator have popped up. If none of those suit, simply hit the manual description and you can type your own words. When you're ready, simply come down the bottom of that panel and hit submit. And there we go. Those files are now inside Synergy. We can also create a new folder. Simply click where you want the folder to be created under, come up to the ribbon and select New Folder. Now if this is grayed out, it means you do not have permissions here to create a new folder. We give our folder its name, and if you wish to restrict the file types that go into that folder, you can simply come down and add them in the bottom here. So for example, if I want Word documents in here, I can type DOC. You can use wildcards as well, so that will cover all types of Word documents. If you want a secondary file type, just hit the plus button again and add the extra extension. So now in this folder, only Word documents and PDFs will be allowed. When you're ready, hit the create button. There's our new folder. Creating a new file from scratch. Simply pick the folder you wish it to go into, come up to the ribbon and select New File. Now in this case, my Synergy Administrator has put in a default library job, so it's automatically browsed me to here to stop extra steps. So now I can just go to, say, the Document Templates area. I can pick the template I wish to use. So I'm going to pick a letter template. I can give it a name. So I'm going to call this RFI-002 using the letter template and then hit create. Again, my history description pops up. In this case, I can use a predefined one that the administrator has given me. New file. Now, in this template, Synergy is utilizing attributes. So there is a header inside this template that values are automatically being populated from the Synergy job attributes. However, in this template, there is an optional attribute as well, which requires a value. So type our value in there, then hit resolve, and 12D Synergy will now go and create that document for you. Next it will ask you what you want to do with that document. So if you wish to open it and edit it, hit edit. If you just want to open it read only, there's the read only. Or if you're just happy with just creating it for now, you can hit do nothing. In 12D Synergy, we can also enforce naming rules on folders. For example, I have a photo folder here that has a naming rule on it. The naming rules are created by your administrator. So if I have files, in this case a couple of site photos, and I drag and drop them into that folder area. Again, pick which option you want to use, and you'll see here that there is a name file builder panel. So most of this is being built from Synergy attributes. And one of those attributes in this case is a list attribute. So I'm required to select a value. So these are site photos, so I pick site, and that will complete the naming rule at the top there. In this case, the naming rule is job number, followed by a photo type, followed by a timestamp, followed by the user initials that's bringing it in. And because I have multiple files, I can apply this to all files and then hit set. Again, I get the history description. So in this case, I'm going to go manual description, and I'm going to go new files or new photos from site visit. Now if you're a keyboard person, instead of mouse clicking on the word submit, you can also hit Control Enter. After that, a panel will pop up and it will let you know that these files have been renamed from the old file name to the new file name. Then you can close that panel. Sometimes in Synergy, you may want to copy, move a file around. So the easiest way to do this is simply pick the document you want and drag and drop it to its new location. This will give you three options. You can duplicate the document by using copy, you can relocate it by using move, or the third option is a linked file. And a linked file is a live read-only copy. So what that means is it creates a duplicate file, but if you change the original, the linked version also updates. You've heard me talk about checkout and check-in. 12D Synergy uses a check-in and check-out process. This means that for editing, files must first be locked by checking it out, and later uploaded and released by checking in, or by cancelling the checkout if no changes have been made. So checkout. When you're working on files in 12D Synergy, if you do not already have the latest version will be copied to what is called your local workspace. This is an area reserved on your computer's hard disk for your local files, and it is defined during the installation of 12D Synergy Client. The files are essentially cased in the local workspace. If the files in the local workspace are deleted or no longer there, 12D Synergy will download another copy when required. Just note that until you have uploaded a file by checking it in, any changes you have made will just be on your local machine. Only when it is on the server will it be available to everybody else. The phrase that is commonly used is the single source of truth. What is on the server is the most relevant. If you try to access from another computer a file that you are working on that has not been uploaded or checked in, then you will and everyone else will not see your changes. So a few ways you can check out a document. you can select it, then come up to the ribbon and select the Checkout button. That screen that flashed up, that's the synchronization or the caching to your local workspace. When you have got it checked out, you will see in the checked out column, yes, that it's checked out, and it will also tell you who has it checked out. In this case, it's you, because I have it checked out. If somebody else has it checked out, their username will be in brackets there. The other way to check out a file is click on it, right click on the document, and then select Checkout from the menu. Just note, if you double click on a file without checking it out, a panel will pop up and ask you if you want to check it out. So yes to check it out, no to open read-only. You can also view a document as read-only. This is simply done by selecting the document or file and choosing View, either from the ribbon or right-click and View from the menu. Again, this still caches it to your local workspace, but it will open up that file, or in this case the document, in a read-only mode. That just means you haven't locked it unnecessary to stop other people making changes to it. If you just want to get a copy of a file down to your local workspace, you can do what's called a get latest. To see this in action, you can simply right click on a folder and go Explore. This will open up a Windows Explorer to your local workspace area. So in here you can see my cached files. So I can come along and delete this file. If I want a copy of it again, I can simply go and pick it, right click on it, and go Get Latest Version. Again, that syncs it to my workspace now. So if we have a look at that Windows Explorer, you can see it's recopied into my workspace location. Alternatively, you can double click on a file, which will always give you the latest version. I'm going to open up this document now, just so we can make a change to it. Just note, by hitting the local save button here, this only saves it to my local workspace. It's not until I close the document and then check it back in, so in this case we're going to go manual description and we go more text added, and then we're going to go submit. So you can see now that this file is no longer checked out and the version has now increased by one number. 12D Synergy automatically does that for you. 12D Synergy also allows you to offline data. That means you can take the data out of the office with you without having a 12D Synergy connection. But it will also prevent others from being able to edit the file whilst you're out of the office. So you can check the document out first, or when you right click on it and go data out and you go offline, it will check it out for you. Simply pick the location you want to offline it to. There it is. Yes, I want to check it out. That prevents anybody else editing it on me. Okay. And you'll also see in the state column that this document is now offline. Basically that means that we can close 12D Synergy down, go and edit the data locally when we're not in internet range or in server connection. So we can do that. Offline. There's my document. So I can open it up and edit it offline. And save it and close that document. And then when you come back into internet range, you can go back to your client. You can now click on it, right click, go data out, and online that document. This will also give you the option of whether you want to delete the offline copy or leave it. In this case I'll delete it and go online. There we go, my files have been brought back online. Go OK. So there you go, you can see it's no longer offline. The changes have been copied back into my workspace, so now I can check it back in. I'm going to go manual description again, and we'll go offline site information added, and then submit. There we go, it's now checked back in and that information has been added to the server. Next we're going to have a look at attributes. Firstly, what are attributes? Jobs, folders, tasks and files can have additional information, essentially metadata or properties, and these are attached as attributes. A good example is the subject, sender, receive date, and so on for an email. Custom attributes can also be attached to help describe files in ways that make sense for your job. These can also be used for searching. So what are the different types of attributes? Well, at the job level, on the second tab here, is the list of job attributes. These are predefined by the administrator. They can be linked to items or referenced in the dashboard, in Word documents, and in 12D model projects, etc. If we have a look at a folder, on the second tab, you can have folder attributes. Similar to job attributes, but they apply specifically to the folder or any subfolders below it. Documents in this folder can also reference job attributes. The other type of attribute is a file attribute. So if you click on a file, come down to the bottom and select the attribute tab down here, these are file attributes. Again, they apply specifically to the file. File attributes are defined at the folder level, and all new files created in the folder will have the same attributes. The file attributes will appear in a folder list and can be used for filtering files. In version 4, they can also be used for workflow. So how do we apply these attributes? Document formats such as Excel, Word, DWG, that all have 12D Synergy plugins, can have attributes embedded from 12D Synergy. Basically, this means that when you update the source of these attributes, such as a job attribute, the document is automatically checked out, the attribute value is updated, and then checked back in, therefore increasing the version, but always ensuring your data is up to date. I'm going to come and open up another 12D Synergy client. I'm going to go and have a look in our library job. And we're going to take a look at that letter template we used before. So there we go. This is the template, and if we have a look at it, it's been defined using square brackets and an attribute name. So when that document is brought into an actual job, if we have a look at a job attributes, you'll see client. Well, there's client, so it will populate with that value. Job address, there's job address. Job name, there's job name. And subject, which is not a job attribute here, but a free context attribute. So when we look at the final result of that letter we created before, you'll see the values are populated with the job attribute values automatically. Very simple, but very powerful. Alright, revision. In 12D Synergy we have history. 12D Synergy keeps track of all changes to a file, which can be reviewed at a later date. At any time you change a file, you'll be prompted to describe what you have done. And along with that, any system-defined attributes that might need to be filled out. This information can then be used to see how the file has changed over time. You can even load a previous version of a file. So if we look at this file here, we can see there is currently 11 versions. And if we come up and select the history button, it will show us the entire history of that document. To make things easy, you can even click the Show Preview button here. And as you pick on each history, it will show an image of what that document changed. There we go, image added. You can see here in the history the type of change, the time the change occurred, who made that change, and of course their history description of what was changed. From here we can do rollback. For example, if we no longer wanted the changes from 9, 10 and 11, we could go and select version 8 and we could select the rollback button. This gives us the option to do a local rollback, a save as, so we've created a different document from it, or we could just open up that rollback as a temporary view. Okay, so if we do local rollback, you'll see up in the columns here that on version, even though the current one is version 11, locally we have version 8. We can also view properties of a file. So select the file, come up to the ribbon and select properties. This gives us the details of all the information on that particular file. This will even show us events like when somebody has viewed that file, not just made changes to it. So in here, there's all the properties of the file, any attributes, some other icons there, tabs there that we can go through later on. You can do a view log. So this will show you any changes from a selected time to another time. Okay, so there you go, you can go and pick all those, go show, and there it is. So again, not just history changes, but also if somebody opened it read only. In here we can also do things like purge. Again, this is permission based, or only administrators can purge, which means a permanent delete. You can also do publish, reports of the file, you can set notifications, you can even open it and check it out from here as well. Something your users might like to do is delete a file. So files are not permanently removed from 12D Synergy unless allowed by the system administrator. In most cases they are just marked as deleted, which renders them invisible until you restore the file or choose to view the deleted files. This ensures that the information can never be accidentally lost. So select the file that you no longer wish, go right click on it, go operations, and then select delete. In this case I can choose a predefined description, file deleted, and there it is. It's gone from our list. However, if it's accidentally deleted, or you need to create another document of the same name, you will have to restore it. So to do that, you go up to the View menu and select Show Deleted Items. There it is again. Only under the state it is marked deleted, so we cannot check out and edit this until it's restored. So to do that, we right click on the file, go Operations, Restore. This time I'm going to use my manual description, and we type our requirements here. Oop. And submit. There we go, file is restored successfully. Go OK. And now the state is back to none, which means we can check this out and edit this document again. Don't forget to go back to your View menu and untick Show Deleted Items. When it comes to exiting the 12D Synergy client, we have an optional active checkout closing rule, aka the nag screen. This stops users exiting 12D Synergy if they have an active checkout. This is set up by the administrator and can have rules set for different files, folders, or 12D model checkouts. At the very least, it's a great reminder for users to check their items back in before exiting and leaving the workspace. So a couple of ways to close 12D Synergy. You can go 12D Synergy Quit, or you can just hit the X up in the right hand corner. There it is, the active checkout rule. So I still have a 12D model project checked out. From here I can check it in, cancel the checkout, or if it's just optional, I can still quit.